Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our journey in discovering just a little bit more of this amazing language every day. So we have 降落伞, which is about falling in the image of rock climbing and falling again in the image of flowers or plants, leaves or flowers dropping to the streams and have a separation from the body of the tree. That's plant dropping and this rock climbing down. So both are falling down. And then we have umbrella, this visually umbrella or the ancient way of elaborated a way of expressing umbrella. So umbrella that's used for you to fall down. That's our parachute. And today we are going to continue with this parachute image. We have 空降部队. Okay, 降, the same, right? Rock climbing downward. And yesterday I kind of discovered, okay, this is backward walking, and this is backward walking again, but it's an image flipped over 100 degrees like that. So that's our rock climbing downward. That's our 降. Kind of slowly 降, right? Controlled, because otherwise you'll fall to death. This is kind of a climb down, controlling, meticulously. And 空 is a big, big concept. Just like a qi. Okay, sometimes we combine 空 and qi. Qi is our air. 空 is air as well. So air and air. Air. Why Chinese bother to do that? Because Chinese, one character can carry multiple meanings. Okay. By just itself, it's hard to tell which direction you're going to take. But if you have two, each have multiple meanings, right? And then you kind of link them up together, and it's kind of locked. For sure, that's the meaning, because both directions are fixed. You're going to lock this two. Like say each of them have 10 meanings, and when they are combined together, that's very directional. You already know which meaning it's actually used, because both of them are going to have overlapped meaning. And this overlapped meaning is the ping down of, okay, that's the meaning we mean here. Pretty amazing mechanism of this language. So 空 and qi actually means the same. It's the air. So how this air came into being? We have this arch, big arch. It's our space, right? And we have a chimney on the top. That's kind of our covered space, like domestic. A lot of times it's used as domestic. Over here, it's not exactly domestic. It simply means a space with a cover. It's a shelter. And then I have this two. I don't often see this shape. So this two on the top, according to scholars, this means some gaps in between, some holes in between, some openings. So that makes the top portion of this space with holes kind of means for us it's cave. So they're a big entry point. Like instead of like with door with gates, right? You can enclose the space. Here it's like a big opening over there. Like that's how the cave is meaning for us, because it is a sheltered cover, but it has big opening over there. It's not gated. So that's 穴, just the top portion of it. And then the 弓, the bottom, look at the shape. Oh my God. It's like the engineers back then at the beginning of the language creation, because this forms perpendicular or the right angles, straight right angles, exact. This was indeed used as a tool to make sure you're going to get right angles. And we can kind of picture why people use that, right? Because, okay, I have the fortune to take apparel making. So sewing, cut and sewing stuff. So even make a simple structure as a wearable, like a garment on your body, you kind of need to have rulers and a special kind of rulers to make sure sometimes you cut the straight corner. Otherwise things are going to be odd and off, right? So same like a house building the space of house, you got to have this right angle measurement to make sure it's perpendicular to the ground level, right? Things are not tilted. So that's a tool in ancient times used by craftsmen. We don't call them engineers back then. They don't have a college degree, but it's generations apprentice passed down this knowledge of how to build things. And this is the tool they used. So this is the sound maker. And in this space with holes, this cave, this plus this sound of tool using rectangular tool using sound is a gong, and plus this cave symbol pronounced as kong. I mean something spacious over there. It's kind of hovering over there. It's this concept in Chinese that's about emptiness. So it's a space, but with holes in it. It's not filled up yet. And I view this rectangular thing, even if it's a sound maker, as it's probably you can view it from the perspective of engineering. Back then, that's kind of view the space as it's a blank space for you to build something in, but there's nothing filled in yet. So that's why you're needed to be there to build something out of it. Right? So anyway, that's my story to help you remember this composition of kong, which is our emptiness space. So when we have emptiness space plus the air concept, that's our air, because it's a space, it's a spacious, like it's not filled with solid stuff or water. It's something in the air you don't see the physical fill out, but you know, actually there are things filled in there, but it's invisible for us. And with qi, it's air, it's something flowing in there. So that's our combination of air. So something falling from the air, and the bu and dui, both are components of an army. So let's get into this bu. We have this little, almost like a circular thing in there. And then this, according to scholar, this is a person in kneeling position. So this is not a person that can standing tall. This is a person like a bow to you. So that is our symbol for people you rule under your governance. And this tiny little circular thing actually is a symbol to mean a space. So that's a land with people under your ruling. That's the original meaning of this. This means the area or the zoning that the higher authority assigned to you to look over, to rule, basically. This is your turf, so to speak. And then the left is a sound maker, but the sound makers are interesting because, okay, we have seen this before, right? This is the silly bird going upward toward the sky, refusing to come down image. And that is no, right? That is our visual for no. And then we have a mouse attached to it this time. It's like a verbalized no, right? Speaking out no to it. And then we have this one dot on top of it. It's like verbalized no, but with kind of a sharp edge to it. So it's kind of criticism, reprimand. It's got a reprimand. It's like, you know, harshly like doing this, like saying no, like tell you it's wrong. You don't do it. So in my interpretation, this why it's army. Okay, there's people under your rule, right? In an area. So it's a domain, a group of people under your rule. And how you rule them by discipline them by saying a lot of no to them, because people come in all sizes, shapes, and intentions and individualities, right? And when you turn them into army, it's kind of form people into the same way, same behavior, same thinking, same reaction in certain situations, right? So that's training process of turning all these individuals into your army is to discipline them and train them by saying a lot of no, like no, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do that, until everybody is behaving and thinking, responding in the same way. So that's our army concept. Pretty long-winded explanation, but I think it's helpful how we view the army is formed. And then 对 contemporary, like they share the same symbol contemporarily, but actually it turned out to be, if it's put on the right, it's a simplification of this. If it's put on the left side, it's simplification of this, different things. And this we have seen on the 将, right? So both of them are the same. It means vertically challenged. It's vertically blocked structure. That's a cliff. So this cliff, and then we have this pig image because it has 4 legs, it has a tail, kind of flat head. It's domestic animal, something meat can be turned into meat, is edible. And then we have the separation. So somehow the whole image of this cliff separated with a pig below means something fall down to the ground, kind of, the after scene of somebody took the jump and things are scattered below it. That's a kind of 坠, it's fallen, shattered like that. But somehow over time this became 对. It means a line of people. And I think the simplified Chinese make more sense because then we have people. It's made up of living figures, people, and they are lining up to do a certain task together as a group. So both of them are army groups, and this is just a generic group of people doing that. And I don't exactly know why that falling, dropping with pig involved with a separation. I don't know why that was sharing the same origin as this one. So let's keep that mystery over there. 空降部队 simply means it's falling from the air, and they are army in a line, in a formation, and they are simply paratroopers. Make a lot of sense, right? And we can see this is Chinese characters. All of them have their own origins, have their own stories. Each picture frame have their own components and that kind of meaning making in between, in the interactions and tensions between the smaller components underneath. Each one have their own origin and have multiple meanings, right? We explained this formation thing. And this is a contemporary because we don't have much long history of that. Probably during the Second World War, right? When the airplanes can carry foot soldiers to go up in the air and falling down on the enemy front line or the back line, back of the front line, however you want to position them, but you airdrop this army into the war zone. So that paratrooper contemporary phenomenon or way of war was captured in the ancient language. We can use this 4 characters. So something falling from the air, fall, air, fall, right? An army and group of people or line of people. So that's how we say it. 空降部队. Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.